The Namibian Broadcasting Corporation, with its mandate to inform, educate and entertain the Namibian public, is bringing new content to our radio stations with the introduction of the NBC Molelo radio drama project. Now, the project is calling on all storytellers, writers and producers to submit culturally relevant and captivating radio drama proposals. Now, to tell us more on the project is, of course, our NBC's Director General, Stanley Similo. Good evening, DG, and thank you so much for being here with us tonight.
Good evening, and yes, it's home. Thank you for having me here.
Now, could you perhaps, before we start with the Molelo radio drama project, the NBC has been working on the Mukuro project with MultiChoice, which anticipates the completion of 13 film projects by May of next year. Can you perhaps start off by just giving us an update on how that project is going right now?
Thank you very much. Maybe before I get there, let me just in short indicate what has informed us to actually take the routes that we are currently moving on. Our audience research in terms of us understanding what our viewers and listeners and even the online sort of like followers are looking for indicated to us that the Namibian public are looking forward to programs that are quite into the entertaining element, dealing with all facets of life. Hence now the mix that we've been bringing to the fore has worked very, very well for us. And no wonder that this current project and program that we are on now, which is the Daily Roundup with Nina, is one of the new programs that premiered, I think, early this year. You will remember even programs like Situation Critical, In the Community, The Wheels of Justice. It's all but part of that process. Right. And now to come back to your question, the Mukuro project is progressing very, very, very well. Remember, there's 13 films that are currently in the making. Yes. 3 out of the 13 have just started production now at the coast. Some of the teams are there now currently busy shooting. One of the 3 is due to leave over the weekend as well to go and do that. So that production is running quite well. There has been interaction between us, our partner Mnet as well, to the extent that they also provided some specialist sort of like services to us, where we got a script advisor who came in, sat with all the teams, took them through their scripts so that to make sure that, you know, we have good stories to tell. So on that score, we're very happy. Incidentally, I just was on the phone a short while back with Mr. Herze from Mnet, Namibia. So from their end, they are also very happy in terms of us as the producer, the NBC now, at the pace at which the project is running. So on that one, we sure that we will meet the deadline of next year, May, where all of them will be ready to be on television.
That's wonderful. Now, moving on to today's topic, what is the significance of the NBC Molelo radio drama project?
Look, before TV came on board, radio has always been there. I grew up listening to radio. I remember I would be lying under the table listening to radio, and I would always say that I wonder how big are these people that are inside there, to an extent that I think I damaged one of the portable radio stations because I wanted to take these people out that are speaking there. Now, part of storytelling was always as such that at a particular time of the day, we would also be rushing to radio to go and listen to a story. Now, over the years, I think that has fallen back. The current genre of programming that we're doing is extremely serious, to the extent that we don't have stories where people can laugh, where people can cry, where people can just be happy, and where people can hear stories told in the languages that they understand. That actually became the point where we said that, look, we need to bring back short stories and dramas on NBC radios for all the stations. So that's why we've invited everybody who can write, who can tell a good story that will make us cry, that will make us laugh. For radio, we want them on board.
So we're not looking at specific people, we just want anybody who can tell a story, anybody who can write it, anybody that is willing to come on board.
Yes, particularly so in all the languages that are spoken in Namibia. Because once the productions are there and they are running, we will premiere them and run them on our radio stations. And we are looking at lengths of about 15 minutes each. And for each and every radio station, we're looking at having 20 episodes. But again, in the discussion that we had about 3 weeks ago with the creative team from NBC that is driving this, together with the experts from outside, we were saying that depending on how great the journey goes, we may have to bring more on board so that this becomes a standing item on all the radio stations.
Now, DG, you talked about language, but there's also a cultural aspect involved.
Yes, of course. Look, the issue of language actually embeds a culture.
Right.
The moment you take a language away, a culture naturally dies. So for us, we can't divorce the two. That is why it becomes imperative that we embed the aspect of local languages being spoken, local languages being heard, particularly so on NBC, given the mandate that we're having. So that naturally, we believe that the outflow will take care of the different diverse cultural backgrounds that we are having in the country.
And what are some of the other requirements for those who want to participate in this project?
Basically, just have the willingness. If you know that you can write and then you can create, we are here. And it's important, follow us online, we are there. And I think the deadline for submissions, if I'm not mistaken, is the 30th of November. Now, if I quickly go back to Mukuro, for the 13 programs, films that we've selected, we got submissions that were well over 200. So now for radio, where we are saying there's 11 radio stations, I can just think the number of entries that we will be getting. But again, it's our job, we must do it. We must make people happy, and we want Namibians to tell the stories, because the NBC is the conduit through which this can be relayed to people.
So you really see that the response will be great?
No, we are excited. We are excited. And remember, this is something that hasn't been there for a long time. And we're just bringing that back. And we're hoping that it will be entertaining. It will give us literally all facets of what Namibian life culturally is and the works.
So, DG, are there any other projects that the public should be aware of, you know, that the NBC is working on? Because I feel as if there is more good news.
Yes, we just finished 14 short stories for television that were entirely produced internally.
Right.
And there's quite an important aspect to that, because part of that project, we've been able to take more than 100 young people, young producers, take them through these processes, learning the craft, learning the arts. We are in the process now. I think post-production is also done. So very soon we will be premiering that as well. So what it means is that as NBC, we are not just creating content, but we are also building capacity, because we believe that the art of creating, both for radio and TV, is something that we as NBC should be supporting all the way. And then, of course, we are also busy with the Live Your Passion productions, and there's many others that we believe we will bring to the fore. But the trajectory in terms of where we are, the excitement, all things being equal, we believe that it's been going well. That is why we have now emphatically said that radio is part of the mainstream of what NBC is. NBC is not television. NBC is the combination of both radio, television, and then of late, it's now the online presence as well.
Right. Well, thank you so much for speaking to us this evening, unless there's anything else that you would like to highlight.
Watch this space. There's more to come.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Of course, the Director General of the NBC right here with us, Mr. Stanley Similo, talking to us about the call going out to all storytellers, story writers and producers to submit culturally relevant and captivating radio drama proposals. We'll be back.
next to you. You start first, Miss. Oh.
Yep. I'm starting. You can hear that? You can hear that? Yeah, I can. You can? So when he does the countdown, just look. Yeah, I can. Can you read it?
That's me you're talking to.
For a second. You can, Then you read all of that. And then when you say good evening, you now look at them.
Okay.
And then you guys have the conversation.
Okay.
Right? And then once you guys are done with all your 5 questions, right? Then you say thank you so much for joining me on this one. And then you say daily roundup continues right after this. Yeah?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very
I
much.
can hear you.
Pass it to me. What is this?
Yeah, I can.
The distance is a problem.
But I can hear just fine.
No, when she's here, you listen to the tone.
I could still hear him.
No, when you was inside, you can't
I can hear.
get out.
Yeah, I can.
And don't touch it.
Okay.
Let me see. Then put it on nicely.
Yeah, it's fine.
Don't touch it, when you're
What did she say? After the thing,
Yeah, I can.
she introduces
Yeah, I
us
can.
and she starts asking questions.
Did she also ask?
Yes, I can hear you.
So remember, Hilma, the countdown 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Before I start.
And then you start here.
Okay.
Like this, it's
Yeah?
going.
Yeah, it.
Your questions you ask from
Okay.
the piece of
Keep
paper.
following your ears.
So am I listening to him or you counting?
No, you're listening to him.
Okay.
Him